perfect. Now we'll go ahead and fade that over.
Good morning, South Florida.
And welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe Morning Show.
Grab your coffee as we brew up the talk of the day.
From the latest scoop around town
to feel-good stories and messages of hope.
A few jokes and live calling.
Highlighting local businesses.
Discussing hot trends and news stories.
A dash of feel-good nostalgia.
I love those morning cartoons.
Keeping up with upcoming events.
Sometimes trying and delicious foods.
Weekly horoscope updates.
An occasional flying duck.
Some sparkle dust.
Don't forget my bell.
And my wand.
With our brew crew laughing on set.
So grab your coffee, your bagel, donut, or any breakfast as we get you up and ready for the rest of your day.
And don't leave us hanging. Give us a follow. Comment live or call right into the show at 888-994-4995 Studio B.
Whether it's a tip of the day or just to say good morning, we'd love to hear from you.
From Ant Media Production Studio, it's
the Brooklyn Cafe Morning Show. Freddie, you have to get up. We've got a morning show to do.
Just give me 5 more minutes. Where'd I put my hat?
Come on, Freddie. You don't have time. Get out of bed.
I can never find my hat when I need it.
We'll get the hat at the studio. Let's go. Pour yourself some coffee and get to the studio because it's time for the morning show.
Now, where's my bell?
Welcome to the morning show with Dawn and Freddie S., the South Florida show that everyone's talking about.
Welcome to the Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Cafe. So this is Bella. They named it now, Jello, Bello. So it's Bella. And do you remember? I looked up the commercial.
Bello. As in Bell with the Jello.
See it wiggle. You remember that?
Smack it.
Smack that baby!
Here we go again.
I'm going to tell you something.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Freddie's Dream.
Everybody, first of all, she's the one who told me smack it. Everybody,
Thank you for content.
Everybody was making fun of me yesterday. Smack that baby. But it's funny, even during the books, they smack that baby, and she's at face stories. I don't know what's going on there. But
we got Charlotte watching, so good morning, Charlotte, if you're watching. Good morning, Frank. Good morning, Jay Harmon. Good morning to everyone. Do you see what happens when you are all not here to help with this chaos? Sometimes I feel, and tonight you got Frank coming in, you got Rich coming in, and it's a whole other situation.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Frank and Rich are going to enjoy my Jello.
Frank and
my
Rich
Bello?
oh, man.
My Bello.
I cannot even imagine.
I want to trademark this, the Bello cake. By the way, the reason I even took this stupid thing out, because we put it in the fridge last night to conserve it, to see if I can hold on to it till I don't know how long, is because the Brooklyn Cafe is going to go into the bakery business.
We could have brought the baked goods in. We'll be getting fresh ones in today.
We're gonna do that at midday.
Okay.
But she won't be here at midday. She's gonna come at 1. I don't think we're gonna get goods, but we have some goods. But that isn't the deal. What we're gonna be doing is that we're gonna give you an opportunity to order goods that we have, and we're actually gonna put a pasteria stand in the studio.
Michael's been eating them, so.
Michael, stop eating.
No, keep enjoying them. They're good, right?
Yes.
How many did you have, Michael?
I just had a few.
A few. Are they good?
Mm-hmm.
Are they delicious?
Yeah. So like earlier today, I was telling them that I thought one was a hush puppy, but it's not. It's like a croquette.
Ask them the question. Do you know where the term hush puppy comes from?
I do not.
So back during the Civil War.
Wait, give a chance to answer. Misha? Any idea where the term hush puppy comes from?
Not only do I not know, I've never heard that word before.
He doesn't even know what a hush puppy is.
You know what a hush puppy is, though, right?
It's a shoe.
No, well, it is a shoe, but no, it's like a fried corn fritter, right?
No, it's basically a fried breaded bread.
It's a shoe. A hush puppy.
They do make how they used to anyway, hush puppy shoes.
Yeah.
But for what we were thinking about is, I used to love when I was a kid. There was a restaurant called Lum's. I don't know if they had Lum's anywhere else. So everything at Lum's was fried. So fried clams, and the fried clams came with fried hush puppies. Hence, all my trauma growing up as a child is eating all that stuff. Anyway, So he's like, "Oh, are these hush puppies?"
And, so basically during the Civil War,
You're talking about the round ones?
yeah,
Okay. Those are croquetas.
yeah, but we also refer to them as hush
We
puppies.
got more.
Because during the Civil War, the slaves would carry them in the pocket to give to the dog and go, hush, puppy. So they wouldn't give them away.
Did you make that up?
How amazing is that?
I don't know. I think you made that up.
I don't know. I think Michael's just like this vast world of trivia.
Michael, I have to ask you a question. Being that you have so much information, being that when I see you, I see the Britannica Encyclopedia.
Yeah, that's the first time people have said that.
Maybe you can do 4 videos of information to send it to Mona Lisa, because I looked today. Today was very difficult to find anything on the news today.
Well, like
Anything
today,
decent.
John Glenn orbited the Earth in the 1962.
You see, that's what I'm talking about. See, I didn't even know that.
Do you know what I saw? They think that the Earth is purple. They think that we got
I
it
didn't
all
see that
wrong.
either. So
That
why
the
didn't
Earth
you
is
download
purple.
that?
Because it talked a whole lot about phosphorus gas and colors and auras, and then it's like, I need Frank for that conversation. Is what that's all about.
Well, I'm going to be...
Can you imagine the Earth being purple?
Yeah, but there's all sorts of stuff we're going to go over to today.
See if we can find a video on that.
Another plane crash in Arizona.
Thank you so much for playing.
Now, one landed and the other one crashed.
Did you see Delta Airlines?
Oh
They've
my
offered
gosh.
everyone $30,000 who was on the plane, and it doesn't change anything whether you want to sue or not sue or any of your
Right.
rights
Yeah.
away.
Just as a
you
gift.
just get $30,000 as a gift.
Yes, and the owner, the CEO, I told you yesterday, the CEO of that airlines, I know him.
You gonna call him?
I met him. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I met him because my stepdaughter, when she went to Georgia, her daughter and her were friends at the same sorority, whatever
Sorority?
that thing.
Sorority.
Sorority.
It's like in
Psoriasis?
sobriety or
Psoriasis.
psoriasis.
Yeah, it's the next eventual thing with the sororities.
Next best thing.
After getting drunk, you go to the sobriety.
I'm gonna give you Bella, and every time I say something silly, you're gonna smack that thing.
She's
there
got
you
her own little bell.
She has a
So
little bell.
cute.
You know, when I hear that, I hear
Show it off.
Tinkerbell.
We actually used to give those out as
We
merch.
have 'em.
We have some of those. There's
Oh.
the bell with the wand
You
on
put
it.
it on your rearview mirror. I got 3 of them on mine. And then it says, "Why do you have so many?" I says, "Because I like the sound. Because when you turn, it goes cling, 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 cling. You don't even have one.
I
Not
know.
one.
I know. I think I've
Two.
given all mine away. Anyway, it's interesting, right?
So anyway, so I did a piece on, is it safe to fly? Is it safe to fly?
Plane.
Statistically, you have more danger on the road than you do on
Well,
a plane.
Well, that used
but
to
don't
be
give away
anyway.
the video, dummy.
Okay, we're gonna play down that video now.
So that's the cue
Is it the plane?
for the first video
Yeah.
that I brought today.
Travelling by aeroplane is actually one of the safest modes of transport. Thousands of planes take off and land every day without a problem. That's why it's such big news when one does crash, because it's so rare. For every 3 million flights last year, there was only 1 recorded death. That means you're more likely to be struck by lightning than be in a plane crash. That's very rare though, as you only have a 1 in 300,000 chance of that happening. In fact, flying in a plane is even safer than travelling by car, something most of us do every day without anything going wrong. More than 1.3 million people around the world die in car accidents each year, compared to just over 500 in plane crashes. And even if a plane does crash, you're far more likely to live. A study found that 90% of aeroplane crashes can be survived. That's because modern aircraft are also incredibly safe. Planes like the Boeing 747, which is flown by many airlines, have 4 engines, but they can land with only one of these engines working in the very unlikely event that the others fail. Even if there are problems, pilots are very skilled. Did you know that they have to train for thousands of hours before they're allowed to fly with passengers?
Recorded 15,000 feet.
And there are always 2 pilots on every flight to make sure there aren't any mistakes. When a plane crashes, investigators look for what is called the black box, which is actually a big orange box like this. It's installed at the back of the plane and records what goes on during flights, including voice recordings of the pilots in the cockpit. It's used to help figure out what's happened and prevent the same thing from happening again.
And there you have it, Michael. You're exactly right. It's safer to get on a plane than to drive your car.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Isn't that?
They always say that it is because more people are on the road per area, per driving, per day than actually in the air.
Yeah, that's why, for example, they have 2 pilots for redundancies.
Well, there's 2 pilots, but there's also a third person in the cockpit.
Right, which is like their
The
ATC.
aviator
Here's
guy.
my question, though. Why is it called a cockpit?
Because it's
You
the
don't
front
want
of
to
the
know.
ship.
You don't want to know.
Okay.
You don't want to
No,
know.
really, but where does that name come from?
Well, because it's where all the controls of the plane is. So.
But who cares? It could be the control pit. It could have been the
Right,
plane
but-
pit. It could
but
have been the
it's just
orchestra pit.
Dawn.
I think
Why
it's
is
a
it
military term.
Well, that was my question.
Do you know when I show you what those little black covers are? What's that cover called on his
A mic condom.
eyes? And that is the reason why.
All
If
right,
you
I
add
have
one
the
and one
definition.
together,
Thank
you
you.
will
You got
understand.
it? Let's put the camera on
Oh.
Heather.
Wait a second. I don't really
Yeah, that's
know
the
about
wrong
this
one. That's the wrong one.
Oh.
It's
let me
not
just
really on Heather.
Bring my mic a little closer. The term cockpit comes from the pits where cockfights were held. It also used to describe the control center vehicle. It's not what I needed.
Oh, yeah.
The term cockpit first appeared in the 1580s. Okay. Why? You know what? Come back to me. I'm gonna specify in planes.
Smack that baby!
And there you have it. So I was reading an article that talked about
Reading a what?
an article this morning that talked about communication skills. Here's the issue for women, and why women don't have. They say how you want to up-level your communication skills as a public speaker.
Why
say
they don't have
specifically
it?
for women,
Okay.
what women should do.
Yes.
They say most women talk very, very fast
Yes.
because they have been interrupted their whole lives, that they feel like they have to talk really fast to get all the information out before somebody interrupts them.
Yeah.
So they're saying that to up-level your public speaking skills and your communication skills, you should slow it down so everyone can process what you're saying, every single word at the speed you're saying it. So it shows that you're of a more higher stature because you are not in fear of anyone interrupting you or cutting you off. She's shaking her head no, but I
Oh, no.
think that's why I talk so fast.
No, I don't think that's what it is. You know what the problem is? You don't
My
have
brain talks
You
fast.
don't have fun
Holding the
when you speak.
Why are you holding Jello?
Smack that baby. I'm gonna do something for you. Smack that baby.
Smack it.
Smack it. Smack it.
No.
No. You see,
Yeah,
now
actually,
there you have it. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. She smacked that plate. This is what's wrong with women speaking. You don't have any fun with the language.
Well,
Well,
that's
that
the
baby.
thing.
There's a comedian who talks about that. He goes, is like for example,
What do you do with it?
in the bathroom there was no
Not
toilet
passionate
paper.
enough.
His wife comes out and goes, we don't have any toilet paper. He's sitting there going, he goes, that's right. There's not any toilet paper in the entire house. And suddenly she gets mad at him. He's like, what did she want me to do?
With the toilet paper. Oh, so the other day, I was out with you. We were at a meeting, and there was a line for a man goes into the ladies' room, and I'm like, at Starbucks. I'm like, what? So I go into the men's room. I don't understand why the ladies' room had fresh soap when I went in, a towel, a dryer, and toilet paper. Right next door, the men's room smelled like urine, no toilet paper, and no soap. Why?
You know,
That's why the man went into the
I-
ladies' room because he wasn't happy with the men's room either.
I
went
want
into
to
the
I
men's
want to
room
thank
and that's
you and
what I found.
Michael because you didn't let me finish the bit.
About what, the Jello?
You don't know. You don't know. It's about you gotta smack that baby. You got smack it. The way you do it.
Spank
Can I
it,
go
spank
over there
it.
and
You gotta spank it like it was like a
You gotta
baby.
spank that baby.
Clip
Spank
that.
it.
Clip
Just
that.
spank it.
Viral it.
Spank
do
it.
it.
Spank. Is that the best you got?
I don't do that.
Well, this is. You don't do that. Well, do it. Do
Spank
it.
it like it was a baby.
Do it. Remember the movie? Do
There's
it.
nothing I spank. I
Spank
don't
it.
spank Jello.
Spank
I
it
don't
right.
spank babies.
Spank
I
it
don't spank people. I
Spank
don't.
that baby.
They're gonna
Spank-
call like HRS on me or something.
Spank it. There you go. That's probably the best spank you've done. That's the problem is that you don't have fun with the English language.
But no, but like the comedian, he goes, what did she want me to do about the toilet paper?
Well, back to that again.
The
That
toilet paper,
that
thank
joke
you.
did not
He
land.
goes, go get some. He goes, and why didn't I? Because she didn't ask.
Mute his mic.
Because she didn't
That
ask.
joke did not land. That's it. Getting back to you.
Yeah, so this
You
morning.
gotta have
fun.
fun with the English language. You gotta speak slow. You gotta be deliberate. Then you gotta do that thing you do with your eyebrow. That thing you do.
So here's what I'm thinking about this morning. I say to Chuck, does the garbage go out tonight? Yes. And then I realized if I don't tell him why I'm asking, it's going to end at that point. I said, you want to know why I'm asking? Okay. This is my morning conversation. Because it stinks. The garbage needs to go out. And I got to go see you tonight. So I have to explain my question, because if I don't ask for him to take out the garbage, I may come home tonight and it still smells.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Why don't you just pick it up, take it out, and put it in the garbage can?
Because I was coming here. It wasn't the garbage. I mean, it's got to go from the kitchen to outside. I'm like, no, I'm dressed. He can do it.
I swear to God, I'm going to have you smack this Jello all day.
But
so let me get this
so I
right.
had to specifically say, can we please take out the garbage because it smells. So I came in this morning and you say to me,
slow it down.
What do you say to me?
Slow it down. Slow it
The
down.
refrigerator smells.
Yes, it does. I'm going to go in there and throw everything out. But slow it down. Let's get back to your house. So when you said, does the garbage go out? That is a question. That is leaving it to interpretation.
Exactly.
Are you going to be throwing that out? Am I going to be throwing out? Or is the ghost of garbage going to come and miraculously, instead of just picking it up, when you're heading out to your car, you go to the garbage, you drop it in there, you get in your car, and you leave. Now the conversation is avoided.
But here's the thing. And then he would say, oh, why did you do that? I would have done it if you asked. So back to Michael's point.
No.
I'm asking. I'm actually not asking. I'm telling. Please take out the garbage because it stinks.
My father would have said to me.
Men don't get that.
They don't get
Make sure
it.
your mic
It needs
is
to
on.
be like- It's on. It needs to be like a direct. Can you
No,
take
no,
out the
no, no,
garbage?
no,
I'm
no, that's
guilty.
not true. That's
So it
not true.
started last night
It's
with
embarrassing
the
to admit that
inference
I'm guilty of
of
that.
throwing
I don't do
dinner in the garbage, leftovers in the garbage,
It's-
which you know I don't like to
it's
do that
difficult.
because it always smells bad by the morning. But I'm like, all right, I'm going to give it and let it go and see
Where are
what
your
happens.
garbage cans? First of all, your garbage cans aren't outside in front of your house. That's not a Florida
It's
thing.
on
They're
the
in the
side of the house.
garage.
No,
Side of the house.
Side
Okay.
of the house. Anyway, so I'm like, all right, I'll throw leftovers in the garbage, thinking he goes, oh, it's going out tomorrow. So I know it's going to smell by this morning. I'm like, but I'm not going to be overbearing. I'm going to relax, enjoy, not mention the garbage smelling by the morning. You know what happened? The garbage smelled by the morning.
Yeah.
So,
you take it out
but
last
apparently
night.
it did not bother him. So
No,
why
you
should
take-
it bother
That's
me?
because
But
their
it
nose
did.
men are most
you.
smell blind when it comes to stuff like that.
Exactly. It's like, huh? What? I know.
You know, if I see that the garbage smells. Now I have a garbage genie. He picks up the garbage Sunday
You have a
to
garbage
Thursday.
genie?
Yeah.
Sim, salamim.
What does the genie do? You go,
So
oh,
if you
genie,
put the
please
garbage,
pick up my
you
garbage.
tie up your bag and you put it in the hallway, and he comes and he picks it up at night. And
That's
garbage
nice.
genie. Yeah, we pay for it. So if I wake up in the morning because I make the coffee and it smells, I tie it up when I'm leaving. I go to the first floor garbage thing. I drop it off. Then I walk up to the second floor, and I'm done. I'm not gonna have a conversation about garbage. This is just ridiculous. You don't like the way it smells. He don't like the way it smells. So
He doesn't know
somebody
it
just put it in
smells.
the garbage can. Well, that's because he's so tall. He's so, by the time that the smell gets up to his
See,
stratosphere.
with my leftover coffee grounds, I throw it into my garden.
And it was literally just left over from last night. So that back to your point of I have to ask and say specifically what I want slowly enough so he can process it.
No, this
Well,
is
that's because women's brains are like an 8-lane superhighway, and
no,
men's
no,
are
no,
like 2.
no. You see, that isn't fair. This is something that's going on with you.
That
You're
I don't
creating.
like the smell of garbage.
No, you're creating.
Yeah.
You're creating the situation to soothe your brain, not his, because he don't care who
He can
throws it
care
out.
less. He's just like,
Michael, I'll
whatever.
give you $1. I always say to Michael, I'll give you $1. You come over, you to put my garbage in the garbage bin.
Sure.
I'm done with it. You do it for $1. You're done. Now
Well,
nobody
that's
has to worry
because
about it.
I'm what is it? Money desperate.
He needs the dollar.
He needs $1. But what I'm saying is, if you take it upon yourself, and then he were to ask you, you say very, very nicely, you say, well, the last time we had this conversation, it stayed. So if you are that keen on doing it, I shouldn't even have to have the conversation. You see it, you pick it up, you take it out the night before.
So we'll see
Fine.
what happens when I get home tonight. If it's still there, and it potentially could be, because his reasoning as a man will be.
Reasoning as a man, that's the part that's driving me
reasoning
nuts.
As a man
Don't
will
say
be,
that.
well, why don't we just throw out the garbage in it tonight after dinner, and I'll take it out. And my
You wanna smack
reasoning
the Jello?
as a woman would be, but it's been smelling all day. Just put in a fresh garbage bag. Anyway, that should be the biggest problem of my life is taking out the garbage. But the part of the article about women being successful See,
Smack that baby.
About
There you
women
go.
being
Now you got
successful
it.
as public speakers is
We
they
should make
say
that a T-shirt.
you should speak like you listen to a podcast.
You sure what?
Speak to the speed you listen to a podcast.
Yes, because
and
people-
here's the change. We had someone come in the other day that was listening to a podcast on 1.5.
Yeah.
And it was
You mean the speed was 1.5?
right. So they're saying you should speak to that speed, but yet I'm thinking if I spoke to that speed, I could never get anything out
That
I had
isn't
to
why
say.
they speak at that speed. They speak at that speed because number one, they think that people are going to pay attention to gibberish, and number two, they're trying to get in more on the half hour. Your attention span is 30 seconds. So blah, blah, blah. Diarrhea of the mouth is not going to educate you any better.
Well, was it my you know, telling you guys about my friend Danielle, right? She actually likes listening to the sound of my voice because to her it's soothing.
You have a great voice.
And you know something?
So she wants me to do ASMRs for her.
I would tell you to smack the baby, but your hands are probably shot.
I'd probably go. It would end up all over the wall.
But isn't ASMR? There's so many letters.
It's
just
ambient sound and
isn't
music
it-
recording.
But why would that be your voice? Wouldn't it be more like crinkle or
yeah,
like
you can do
this,
stuff.
right?
People sometimes do ASMR like for their voice, so they're like whisper and they'll
Misha,
be like
click it.
What is that?
Yeah, or like I would like tell stories and stuff.
I know. I'm just
Michael, can you angle the camera more to get Heather in it, please?
You know, it's really funny that all of a sudden
There you go.
they're wearing parkas and snow gear underneath.
It's because
the board.
underneath that
Because
air
we're
vent is
literally in
cold.
Antarctica.
They don't want to cut. Well, that is Trump's 51st straight over there.
But I love ASMR, so.
Wow.
So like I actually found a bunch of people to do these on YouTube, and I'll actually hook them up to my projector, and project them on my wall while I'm working.
I don't even know what ASMR is. What is that?
So you know, like the sound of the ocean.
Yeah.
So that's what an
White noise?
Yeah, you make it like white noise or say. So it stands for ambient sound and music recording. And so like you remember the castle thing that we did for the masquerade, where I projected that on the wall on the shower liner.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
That was an ASMR that I had found on my phone.
Interesting.
And I use those as my backdrops for when I do projection effects.
You have other videos?
We
Like
have
10 of them?
Six more videos.
All right, you want to set one of them up?
I don't even know what the hell I got.
So why don't we talk about KFC?
Let's click it.
Let's click KFC.
What do you want to talk about?
Watch what's happening.
It is a humiliating sight for one of the country's biggest food brands. In city after city, a second day of shuttered stores running short of their vital ingredient. Many of those that were open, like this one in Sheffield, were offering fewer options, and it seems it wasn't just chicken that was off the menu.
I just gone for coffee, and they said there is no milk.
Will I get a free rice box then for coming down? Because I've had to go to Burger King.
Today, the logistics firm DHL apologised for that inconvenience, blaming operational issues. KFC switched its supply contract to the company last week. It relies on a single distribution centre here in Warwickshire.
As far as I've seen, it's a chaos inside.
Alexandru tells me he's been sitting in his cab for 3 hours waiting to get into the depot.
Everybody is going everywhere and nobody has a clue about what they're doing. I mean, everything is packed with chicken, olive oil, and everything that we deliver.
In all, there are nearly 900 KFC stores. Tonight, just 469 are open. Some estimates suggest the chain may be losing £1 million a day, but it's hard to be sure because 80% of stores are franchises. These staff don't know.
So what's happening is that they switch KFC in a cost-saving move, switch to DHL, and they get that stuff from one place, and only one place to service all those stores is not working. So for whatever reason, they got backed up.
So they can't get all the chicken and the olive oil out fast
They
enough.
can't get nothing. So all of a sudden, they got to close because if you got nothing to sell, what are you going to walk into KFC for?
That
You know,
actually
my
happened
dad
with
used to
Dunkin'
work
Donuts.
with them.
With who, DHL?
No, the company that owns KFC, Pepsi, Pizza Hut, and all those guys. They're a group called Yum Brands. My dad used to work corporate for them.
Very cool. That happened with Dunkin' Donuts here a couple weeks ago. They ran out of donuts. There weren't enough donuts being manufactured for all of the donuts around the community. They had to change that also.
Now, I didn't find a clip because it came out too new, but apparently the U.S. now is importing 16 tons of eggs a day from some country. I think it's Turkey or something. So the eggs are coming over because the shortage is going to get worse.
Yeah.
Where the eggs are not going to be on the menu anymore. Can you imagine how many places that just are like the
IHOP.
Waffle House and all, and IHOP? No eggs?
No.
You tell us.
Tell us.
I was just gonna say, like, why are there no
eggs?
There's no eggs.
They killed the chickens.
But we have all the chicken breasts and thighs
Good
in the world.
question. Why do we have chickens and no eggs?
Because it's going to catch up. They got rid of like 36 million pounds of chickens, and it's going to catch up. But the eggs are a daily thing that they used to replenish. Chickens, because they
do all this improvisation. He's like, yo, I got you. So we layer the eggs to do all this improvisation. He's like, yo, I got you. So we layer the eggs because it said I could layer the eggs up to 2, fill it 1 inch, fills the crock pot 'cause I've got 12 eggs to the top. Not a problem. I put a plate on it. It's a really good idea. Right next thing I know, an hour into it, 2.5 hours to cook the eggs. An hour in, there's water. You don't even know, everywhere. So the water, it didn't boil, but I guess the condensation from the water came out from under the plate and seeped down and seeped down and around, and there's water everywhere. I'm trying not to say around, and there's water everywhere. I'm trying not to say anything because we're in the middle of production. I'm trying to say anything because we're in the middle of production. I'm trying to
You
be
didn't
like,
tell me that.
oh, I know, because you would have been like, I told
You
you.
didn't
Like,
tell me that.
oh, I know, because you would have been like, I told you so.
But
Why
a
are you
crock
doing
pot,
this?
you gotta have. Are you insane?
It didn't really
Those
boil.
eggs, you can't eat those eggs.
It didn't really boil. I looked up how to cook it because it doesn't come to a
In
boil.
a crock pot?
In a crock pot. I
You
looked
don't leave
up
it
the
for
directions.
2 hours, Michael.
No.
That's impossible.
The crock pot said 2.5 hours. Anyway, so it heated. It's a slow cooker. So there's water everywhere. You know, everyone knows I clean a lot in this place. So everyone who's walking by go, oh, you're cleaning? Yeah, I'm cleaning up a little bit. No one questions that there's water everywhere.
Where was the water?
Oh, I've got the lid off the table. I'm cleaning water down the sides. There's water seeping underneath things.
Underneath what?
I'll show you.
Where?
It's all good.
No, I
it's
don't
all
wanna
cleaned
know.
up.
Don, the next time Aldi's has